The eyes were always there. You just didn't notice how long they lingered. Some pretended not to look, but still, you could feel their attention like heat pressing against your skin. That quiet discomfort you've carried for years, the sense that you're being watched, measured, whispered about, was never paranoia. It was confirmation. Because the moment heaven marked you, the world began to react. Before you spoke, your spirit spoke first. Before you entered a room, your frequency arrived ahead of you. It whispered to every hidden heart, "The light has entered." And from that moment on, nothing could stay the same. You were never meant to go unseen. Heaven decided your glow would expose what pretends to be pure. And now, even those who smiled at you feel an unexplained unease. Before we go further, I want to know something. From which country are you watching this message right now? Because this is not coincidence. It's coordination. The fact that you're here, this channel isn't entertainment. It's a divine compass designed to locate the chosen ones marked with the letter M on their palms. Souls who radiate light, not for attention, but for assignment. Your light has become both your armor and your announcement. It calls attention not only from angels, but from adversaries both visible and invisible. Family members, neighbors, even strangers feel something around you they can't explain. They try to categorize it as arrogance, oddness, or pride, but deep inside, they know the truth. You carry presence, and the presence cannot be ignored. There's a reason why you've been feeling a kind of pressure lately, an invisible spotlight on your life. You sense eyes on you even when you're alone. You walk through your neighborhood and conversations pause. At family gatherings, glances shift when you enter. The air tightens, not out of hatred, but out of recognition. Your aura exposes counterfeit peace. Your silence unmasks hidden envy. And why? Radiance reminds some of what they once were before they compromised their souls. This is why you felt misunderstood by your own blood. It's why people you once loved grew uncomfortable around you. It's not because you changed, it's because you awakened. The light inside you began to speak louder than your words, and the darkness in others heard it. Let me tell you something you might not have realized. When heaven releases light through a person, it doesn't just bless, it disrupts. Your glow rearranges spiritual hierarchies. It changes the invisible temperature of every environment you step into. You've walked into rooms and unknowingly confronted entire networks of hidden energy. That's why you're exhausted after simple interactions. That's why you sense emotional shifts in others before they even open their mouths. You've become a spiritual transmitter, heaven's frequency made flesh. But this visibility comes with warfare. Those who operate in shadow, and it often begins close to home. Family members may suddenly treat you with distance. Neighbors begin to gossip, inventing reasons to dislike you. They don't understand that what they feel isn't personal, it's spiritual. They are reacting to divine radiation. Maybe you've wondered, why can't I blend in anymore? Why do I always stand out, even when I'm silent? The answer is simple. You were never built to blend. Heaven encoded radiance into your soul, an eternal frequency that resists camouflage. When you try to shrink, your spirit refuses. When you try to hide, your calling pulls you into visibility again. The presence around you is not random energy. It's the divine field that surrounds those chosen for impact. It's why technology glitches around you, why people dream about you before meeting you, why déjà vu floods your memory at unexpected moments. Those flashes of spiritual checkpoints, signs that your path is being monitored from above. Each déjà vu is heaven whispering, "You're not alone. I've walked this road ahead of you." You see, you don't attract attention because of your looks, your clothes, or your possessions. You attract it because of your resonance. Your very presence bends the invisible frequencies of a place. It rearranges unspoken hierarchies. People who pretend to have peace suddenly feel exposed when you arrive. That's why they look at you longer than necessary. That's why their words carry hidden tension. Their spirits recognize the mark before their minds do. That letter M, the symbol carved across your palm since birth, is heaven's silent signature. It doesn't just mean marked. It means measured. Every chosen soul is measured against their purpose, and you, my friend, have reached the moment when heaven is calling you into full radiance. False faces around you, not to torment you, but to refine your discernment. You needed to see who truly loves you versus who simply benefits from your glow. And the truth, though painful, is divine mercy. Because when you know who's real, you stop wasting energy on illusions. That's what this season is about. The separation of energies. The wheat from the weeds. The pure from the performative. The authentic from the artificial. And that separation begins with sight, with the eyes that watch you. When you feel watched, don't panic. It means heaven has made you a mirror. Every glance at you reveals the heart behind it. People who carry peace will feel comforted in your light. Those who carry chaos will feel confronted. It's not your fault, it's your frequency. You see, the presence that walks with you radiates truth so clearly that it disturbs deception. That's why certain relatives, old friends, or neighbors can no longer meet your eyes. The conviction. And sometimes that avoidance masquerades as gossip. When they can't explain your peace, they invent reasons for it. They say, "You've changed." Yes, you have. You changed vibrations. You moved from reaction to revelation. You no longer speak from pain, you speak from purpose. And that shift makes insecure souls tremble. Listen carefully. The presence that surrounds you right now is not silent. You felt it in the way the air thickens before a breakthrough, in the way your skin tingles when you pray, in the way you wake up at certain hours of the night and feel watched but peaceful. That's not fear, that's fellowship. You are not alone. Even when every friend vanished, when no one checked on you, when you cried in silence, the presence remained. That was God watching over the radiance He placed in you. You've never been invisible in heaven. You've only been hidden on earth until now. This moment, this message is not random. You were guided here too, and why your visibility matters. When the presence wants to reveal someone, it first increases their sensitivity. You start feeling more, noticing more, remembering more. Your déjà vu intensifies. Your dreams grow vivid, and the eyes around you grow restless. It's all connected. The world senses when heaven is about to reposition someone, and right now, that someone is you. If you've been sensing observation, even spiritual tension, take a deep breath. This is your confirmation. You are not under attack. You are under activation. The light within you is expanding its reach. The very frequency that once made you misunderstood is now your greatest signal of alignment. Your purpose is not to dim for the comfort of others. It's to radiate until every false shadow either transforms or leaves. Because you were never meant to hide from the eyes that watch you. You were meant to awaken them. You might not realize it yet, but this message reached you at the exact intended. Everything that feels heavy right now is just the friction of your transition. The world is recalibrating around your light. That's why relationships are shifting. That's why emotions feel unpredictable. That's why your sense of time feels distorted, because your spirit is ahead of your reality. But trust this, every déjà vu is a breadcrumb of divine memory. Every gaze upon you is a reflection of the light you carry. Every moment of loneliness is just heaven clearing space for real connection. You were never alone. You were being prepared. Now, pause. Take a slow breath. Look at your palms. The M you carry is not coincidence. It's covenant. The light beneath your skin is not random. It's radiance. You were chosen to be visible, not for fame, but for faith. For others to look at you and remember that God still chooses ordinary people for extraordinary presence. So when you feel those eyes again, are not the watched. You are the witness. Heaven is revealing itself through you. Before we go deeper, take a breath with me. If Block 1 found you at the edge of understanding, this part will bring the light closer to your skin. I want to speak to you as a person, not as a preacher, not as a performer. You stayed here because something inside you recognized the vibration of truth. So before we continue, if you haven't yet, subscribe. Not as a follower, but as a companion in the journey of awakening. This place exists so the radiant ones scattered across nations can finally find one another. And now, I ask you something personal. When was the last time you felt eyes on you? When was the last time you sensed the air thicken? That gentle pulse behind your neck that told you you weren't alone. Write it below. Share it with the community. Your story might be the confirmation someone else prayed for tonight. Because the presence doesn't visit randomly, it circulates light. And that light yours has been drawing attention on more levels than you imagine. The first truth about divine radiance is that it creates tests. Not exams of intelligence, but examinations of the heart. When heaven releases a glow into a person, that glow becomes both a lamp and a mirror. It lights your path, yes, but it also shows the faces around you for what they truly are. The same friend who once laughed easily now feels uneasy. The relative who used to trust you suddenly competes. The neighbor who waved every morning now studies you from behind the curtain. It is not new hatred. It is old energy disturbed. Your light has entered their familiar darkness, and familiarity panics when it feels truth pressing against its walls. Heaven allows this friction so that you can learn discernment. You must know who is drawn to your light because it warms them, and who is drawn to it because they hope to use it. At first, these tests hurt. You will generosity, even your sanity. You will replay conversations, searching for what you said wrong. But listen, you didn't say anything wrong. You shown something right. Every radiant soul passes through this classroom where love and loyalty are unmasked. People will speak peace with their mouths, but release envy with their eyes. And you, carrying presence, will feel the contradiction vibrate through the room. That vibration is not punishment. It's perception. The presence inside you is teaching you to feel truth before you see it. Déjà vu plays a role here too. Notice how similar faces and patterns keep reappearing in different seasons of your life. It's not coincidence, it's curriculum. Heaven repeats the lesson until recognition becomes reflex. Imagine this. You're sitting at a dinner table. The conversation flows easily. Laughter fills the space. Then, suddenly, time slows. A phrase lands wrong. You've heard this before, maybe the same scene. That whisper is déjà vu, the echo of a previous test. The presence is reminding you, you've been here. Choose differently this time. This is how heaven refines discernment. Light doesn't just expose others. It teaches you how to navigate without losing compassion. The goal isn't to become suspicious of everyone. It's to become sensitive to energy. Because not everyone watching you wishes you harm. Some are simply searching for hope. They stare because they see proof that faith still breathes. You represent the evidence that God still chooses humans to carry the invisible. Yet there will be others who look with calculation. They are fascinated, but frightened, drawn, yet threatened. They sense that your glow cannot be controlled, and control is all they understand. So they attempt to contain you with criticism, to dim you with doubt, to explain away the miracles surrounding you as coincidence. But you've seen too much to shrink again. You've felt too much to dismiss them as chance. You've experienced the presence too vividly to call it imagination. These confrontations are not designed to break you. They're designed to build your confidence in spiritual reality. Until now, you've needed validation from people. From this point forward, heaven wants you to trust your discernment more than their approval. Let me tell you a secret that few understand. When the presence increases around someone, heaven also increases their isolation, not as abandonment, but as preservation, because the wrong company can interfere with divine frequency. That's why you've been losing people without argument. They drift away, and you can't explain why. The relationship didn't explode, it simply dissolved. That is what happens when vibration no longer aligns. You'll notice how silence grows louder when this happens. But inside that silence, you'll start feeling the presence more tangibly. A warmth in the chest when you pray. A ringing in to hum with reassurance. A sequence of moments so precise that even your logical mind bows. Those are not coincidences, they are coordinates. Heaven uses repetition and resonance to guide radiant souls through the maze of imitation. Still, the test continues. Will you love without being loved back? Will you shine when surrounded by shadows? Will you remain gentle when falsehood provokes you? These questions shape the spine of the chosen. Your radiance is not decoration, it is weaponry of peace. You fight not by reacting, but by remaining. Every time you choose silence over retaliation, the unseen celebrates, because you are proving that light can stay pure even when pressured. Understand this deeply. Your restraint is power. To refuse gossip when insulted, to bless when mocked, to stay calm when accused. These are marks of maturity that darkness cannot imitate. And while you practice this strength, heaven documents every moment. Yes, you are witnessed by angels, recording endurance as worship. If you've been feeling weary, hear me. The test will not last forever. It will end the moment you stop explaining your light to those committed to misunderstanding it. Because explanation drains energy meant for creation. Heaven needs your focus, not your defense. There's a shift happening even now. The same people who whispered about you will soon need the peace that follows you. They'll remember the calm in your eyes, the steadiness in your tone, the compassion in your correction, and they will come quietly, seeking what they once mocked. When that happens, don't gloat, smile, forgive quickly, because mercy keeps your light clear. You are not being tested to prove your worth. You are being refined to protect your gift. Perhaps lately, you felt memories folding over themselves, scenes replaying, sensations overlapping. That's déjà vu again, heaven's way of saying, this is a checkpoint. You are walking the same path. Higher frequency. Notice how peace lasts longer this time, how fear fades quicker, how intuition speaks sooner. That is growth measured in spirit, not calendar. Every recurrence is a reassurance that the presence still walks beside you. You may feel alone, but look closer. Synchronicities follow you like breadcrumbs. The song that answers your prayer, the stranger who repeats your private thought, the timing too exact to ignore. These are divine fingerprints reminding you you are accompanied. Let me ground this truth in you. Not everyone deserves front-row access to your evolution. Love them from distance if necessary. God never asked you to become dimmer for people who refuse to see. He asked you to become wiser while staying warm. The refinement of thank heaven, it means the frequency around you is finally matching the assignment within you. Remember the gentle request I made earlier. Share your experience. Write about the times you sensed divine eyes upon you, the nights when the air itself felt alive, the days when you felt guided by invisible hands. Your story is sacred data. It strengthens the network of chosen ones who silently walk this same narrow path. Do not underestimate the power of your testimony. Every comment of light counters 1,000 whispers of doubt. Every confession of presence becomes a seed of faith in another watcher's heart. You see, this isn't a channel. It's a gathering point of frequencies. And every time you speak here, heaven listens. Now take a deep breath. Look back over your recent days. Notice how many small interventions protected you, delays, reroutes, sudden intuition that kept you from harm. These are not coincidences. They are signatures of supervision. Important pair belongs to God. You are being watched for preservation, not destruction. And the more your discernment sharpens, the less anxious you'll feel about human observation. Because you'll understand, the presence monitors to maintain, not to menace. So stand tall. Let false friends fade. Let gossip evaporate. You have nothing to prove, only light to release. As we move forward, remember this line. Tests are heaven's language of trust. If you are being tested, it means you are trusted with something worth guarding. The greater the light, the finer the filter. In the next part, we will walk deeper into this revelation, how isolation itself becomes a mirror of heaven, how solitude is not absence but dialogue, and how the presence speaks most clearly when the world grows quiet. Silence has a sound. It's softer than music, slower than time, yet it carries a pulse that only awakened hearts can hear. When the noise around you fades, you begin to notice that. Everything the vibration of the presence, reminding you, you're still being held. Many think isolation is punishment. They call it loneliness, exile, absence. But for the radiant, it's the classroom of revelation. When heaven wants to refine a soul, it removes the crowd, so the echo of truth can finally be heard without interruption. If you have found yourself alone more than usual, listen carefully. You haven't been abandoned, you've been invited. Invited into the mirror of heaven, the sacred stillness where God allows you to see yourself the way He sees you. At first, the quiet feels unbearable. You reach for your phone, your habits, your usual distractions, but nothing satisfies. Even conversation feels heavy. That's because the presence is turning your attention inward. Heaven doesn't need your busyness, it needs your awareness, and awareness grows best in silence. In that still air, you start to notice memories looping like waves, moments replaying, voices repeat, returning to mind with uncanny precision. That's déjà vu whispering again, the language of divine remembrance. It isn't your mind recycling nostalgia. It's your spirit reviewing its lessons. Each repeated scene is heaven holding up a mirror, saying, "Look, see how much brighter you've become." You are not where you were when that memory was first born. You have passed through storms, cried in secret, loved when unloved, forgiven when it was unfair. All of that labor has changed the light you emit. The mirror only returns what it receives, and now even heaven sees its reflection shining clearer through you. People often think mirrors exist only to show appearance, but spiritual mirrors reveal essence. When heaven mirrors you, it's not measuring perfection, it's measuring alignment. Are your thoughts echoing the divine rhythm, or have they been tuned by fear? Isolation is where that calibration happens. You'll start noticing subtle corrections in your day. A plan delayed, rest, a conversation interrupted before it turns poisonous. A door closing that protects you from premature exposure. Each interruption feels inconvenient, yet afterward you realize how precisely you were redirected. That's the mirror of heaven adjusting your reflection. And sometimes the mirror shows you others. When someone betrays you, heaven isn't exposing them to shame them. It's showing you what energy no longer matches your frequency. The betrayal is the mirror saying this vibration is not yours anymore. When envy surfaces in a friend's eyes, don't curse it. Thank the reflection for telling the truth. There is a stage where your glow outpaces your circle. The conversations that once filled you now drain you. The places you used to love feel smaller. It's tempting to dim down to fit back in. But remember, mirrors shrink nothing. They reveal proportion. The loneliness you feel is not emptiness, it's expansion. The presence sits quietly beside you in those nights. Stillness. You think you're praying into emptiness, yet every sigh is being translated into light. Angels move through those quiet rooms like gentle currents, arranging circumstances, preparing introductions, protecting your path. You are unseen by people, but completely visible in heaven's architecture. Every déjà vu moment you experience during these seasons is reassurance. The pattern is intentional. Heaven shows you glimpses of what's ahead by echoing what's behind, so you recognize the corridor when you enter it. That strange familiarity is divine foresight disguised as memory. How do you read this mirror? You pay attention to the feeling behind repetition. If a scene replays and peace follows, heaven is confirming. If a scene replays and unrest follows, heaven is correcting. Both are guidance. Prove companionship. When you see numbers, songs, names, or faces looping through your days, pause. Ask the presence, what are you showing me through this reflection? Thunder from the sky. They will rise gently in your intuition. That inner knowing, that quiet certainty, is the voice of God disguised as your own clarity. You are not imagining it. You are remembering the script heaven wrote before you were born. Even those who misunderstand you serve as mirrors. A relative's criticism reveals how your peace unsettles unresolved guilt. A neighbor's gossip exposes the hunger for attention your calm denies them. You do not fight these mirrors, you interpret them. Their reactions are feedback on the intensity of your glow. Every sigh, every side glance, every sudden mood shift in the room tells you what your light is doing. That knowledge is not arrogance, it's stewardship.